You know, inside of you, right this second, there's a kind of symphony playing. And it's not just about biology or chemistry. No, it's something deeper. It's a hidden mathematical architecture, and it's governing every single breath you take, every beat of your heart. So what if? What if we could actually learn to read that code?
Okay, so let's start with a question. And I know it's going to sound like something straight out of science fiction, but believe me, this is quickly becoming science fact. What if? What if a doctor could test a new treatment, not on you, but on a perfect digital copy of you? Just imagine that for a second. A virtual heart, your heart, beating in perfect sync with the real thing. This would allow for a level of prediction and even prevention that we've never seen before.
So, how is this even possible? Well, the key to this whole future lies in this really revolutionary concept called the physiome. The easiest way to think about it? It's like life's blueprint, but instead of being written in DNA, it's written entirely in the language of mathematics.
Okay, so what is the physiome, really? Well, it's a total paradigm shift. It's this theory that looks at the human body, and it doesn't just see a collection of cells and tissues. Instead, it sees a computable system, a system that operates on these fundamental, totally predictable rules. Honestly, it's kind of like looking at ourselves as a complex and really elegant piece of engineering.
Yeah, and that quote, it just illustrates the core idea so perfectly. Our bodies are these incredibly intricate systems, and all the processes that keep us going, from the blood flowing through our veins to the neurons firing in our brain, all of it can actually be described by a mathematical code. It's a perspective that completely transforms biology, turning it into this landscape of elegant, computable logic.
So, if our body is running on a code, you gotta ask, right? What are the rules? What even is this hidden mathematical language? Well, it turns out it's the most fundamental language in the entire universe.
Okay, these governing principles, they might look a little familiar, maybe from an old physics class. The laws of conservation. They basically tell us that mass, energy, and momentum, they're constant. I mean, think about that. The very same rules that govern entire galaxies are also working to make sure your body stays in balance. And then there's this last one, cardiopulmonary coupling. That describes the incredibly precise mathematical dance between your heart and your lungs. It's like there's a whole universe of physics happening right inside of us.
All right, let's take just one example to make this really concrete. That cardiopulmonary coupling thing. So this is the beautiful synchronized rhythm between your heart and your lungs. You might not even notice it, but as you breathe in, your heart rate actually speeds up just a little bit, and when you breathe out, it slows down. This isn't random at all, no. It's a tightly coupled system that can be described with these super precise mathematical equations. It's a perfect dance of optimization, maximizing how much oxygen you get while using the least amount of effort. And it's all happening with every single breath you take.
And understanding this mathematical blueprint, this is so much more than just an academic exercise. Because when we translate our biology into the language of mathematics, we unlock this incredibly powerful new capability. We get the ability to simulate health itself.
So how does this actually work in practice? Well, first, doctors would take really detailed scans of a patient's organ, let's just say their heart. Second, they use all those principles of the physiome to build a personalized digital model, what they call a digital twin of that organ. And then, here's the magic. They can simulate treatments right on that model. They can test different drugs, they can try out different surgical approaches, all virtually to see exactly what's going to work best, and all without a single ounce of risk to the actual patient.
So the really crucial point here is the huge shift this represents. Traditional medicine, it so often relies on population averages, right? On what works for most people. But the physiome, it enables truly personalized medicine that's based on your unique biology. We're moving away from a reactive kind of trial and error approach to one that is predictive and unbelievably precise. We get to test everything virtually and then treat with a level of confidence that, we've just never had before.
For centuries, we've been studying the body's structure, the what. But now we're finally decoding its operating system, the how. So if our biology really is a computable blueprint, if it's a mathematical architecture for life itself, then the only question left to ask is, what are we going to build next?